Hello friends, this is Abby from Abby's Bookish Life, and today I'll be showing you my June reading bullet journal and going through setting up my July reading bullet journal. So as you can see, I have completed my June reading bullet journal. I have the Quotes I Loved spread and a Romanceathon spread, and there are spoilers beside these book covers, but what I do is I print out a little book cover of each book I'm reading, and then in the areas next to them I write what is happening in the book or what I like about it, and just my general thoughts. I have my Hogsmeade Reading Challenge and my Olympic Games Readathon included in my reading bullet journal. And now I'm going to set up my July reading bullet journal, which is pretty much the same as my June reading bullet journal. It has a different color palette because I changed the color based on what color my main bullet journal is using for the month, just because it's easier to have those markers ready to use. Next to the main cover page, I have a spot for my favorite book. This is for my favorite book that I read during this month, so it will be blank at the end of this spread. And when I have finished reading for the month, I just print out a big book cover and paste it onto the page so that I can remember what my favorite book was of that month. I always set up this little video tracker for the months to keep track of when I posted videos, when I need to post them, and keeping track of which videos I'm posting on which days. So I set up this little calendar that is a 3x3 box, and they mostly stay blank. I just fill them in as I post videos. And the bottom of this page I use for a booktube idea dump. I do a brain dump page in my regular bullet journal, and it's very helpful to keep my ideas all organized, and so I just use this little section for any ideas that are specifically about booktube. And then beside my July video tracker spread, I just have a little YouTube sign, and I count how many subscribers I have on the first of the month, and then I go back and check on the last day of the month to see how I progressed throughout the month. On this page, I have my TBR tracker, a hauled book tracker where I write whatever books I buy that month, and then at the bottom is my books read, where I keep track of what book I read, what author, and what the rating is. Next, I'm making a books Lent page. This is a spread that I wish I had included at the beginning of this bullet journal, but it is essentially just a spread to track whom I lend books to and whether they have been returned or not. I do frequently lend books to friends, and I often just forget that I lend them to people, and I want to be better about tracking where my books are and when I get them back. The spread is pretty simple. I just made a giant box, and I'm highlighting every other line with my N93 Tombow dual brush pen so that I can keep track. This page you saw in my June bullet journal for reading, and it's a Quotes I Love page. I don't often have a ton of quotes that I love from books, but if I remember to write them down, I like to have a place to go back to find them. This is my final spread for my July bullet journal so far, and it is to track the Reading Rush Readathon that takes place on July 20th through the 26th. This readathon is hosted by Ariel Bissett on BookTube, so please check her out. And there are 7 prompts for this reading rush. The first one is read a book with a cover that matches the color of your birthstone. The second is read a book that starts with the word the. The third is read a book that's based on a movie you've already seen. The fourth is read the first book you touch. The fifth is read a book completely outside of your house, so I will be listening to an audiobook on morning walks. The sixth is read a book in a genre that you have always wanted to read more of. And the seventh is read a book that takes place on a different continent than the one you live on. And you can overlap books, so I'll be using The Nightingale and Bird Box as my 2 main ones that I will meet a bunch of different requirements for. And then I'm also going to add in Conjure Woman because that is the first book I touched after finding out the different challenges for the reading rush. And here is my final flip through for the month of July. I love setting up my reading bullet journal because I do make so many notes for books that it was nice to have a separate journal to keep track of all of these ideas. I hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know in the comments below if you set up your reading journal like I did mine. Bye, friends.